Okay, best friends, I have a lot of books. We know this already, but here's the deal. I am preparing myself for the hardest reading challenge you'll ever do, 3.0. And in order to prepare myself for that, I need to take stock of my books because what I want to do is challenge myself to use all of the books that I already own. In order to do all of that, though, I kind of need to know what books I do and do not have so I can pre plan what I'm going to do so I can get on the list at my library for the books that I don't already have. So here's a problem. I have a lot of issues that are going on. The first thing is that I have a lot of books, and while I do know the majority of the books that I own, there are possibly some that I have forgotten about along the way. I do mostly have them cataloged on Goodreads as owned books, but I realized just the other day that it's not 100% accurate for a couple of reasons. One is I think I just forgot to put some books on there. I know for a fact that I own As Many Souls as Stars, but it wasn't listed on there. And so I was at the store and I was like, do I own this already? And Goodreads was telling me no. But it's right here, girlfriend. Thankfully, I was able to question myself and I was like, I'm pretty sure you own that, best friend. So the Goodreads list is not 100% accurate. So that's the first problem. The second problem is that the Goodreads list is not very good. We all know that Goodreads generally sucks. It's just like the number one thing that's used, and it's the most convenient, I think, to use, and it's the most I don't want to call it well-resourced. It's just like, it's where the most books are. The next problem is that I haven't dusted these bookshelves in a long time. Now, my house cleaner does a really, really good job. Shout out to Bev, dusting everything. But she only dusts the front of the books. She doesn't get behind them because it's not her job. So she does a really phenomenal job cleaning the part that is her actual job, which means cleaning behind the books, that's my job. And I've been slacking. I haven't done it in a while. And so I just thought to myself, why not go through all the books, catalog them, and clean at the same time? Now, the last thing that I'm trying to solve all at the exact same time is I want to know how close I am to having a personal library. A personal library is more than 1,000 books. There's a technicality there. I don't know if it's 1,000 books or if you have to have like a full 1,001. I will look that up and put it on the screen right here because I'm not sure. But I know that at the beginning of this year, I had nearly 500 books. I have since purchased quite a few books, okay, and I have not counted at all. But the other part of that is when I counted my books at the beginning of 2026, I did not include any of my husband's books, which, let's be honest, those are in the library too. This is all, we live together. And I also have shelves in the office where there are, yes, my read books, but there are a number of books that I owned before I started YouTube. And I haven't read all of those yet. So for all the ones that are in the office that have not been read yet, and the ones that are in the office that have been read, but I did not count them into like my Goodreads, I want to count them. And I just want to see where we're at in terms of a personal library. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go shelf by shelf and I'm going to remove all the books. I'm going to clean the shelf. I'm going to clean the books. I'm going to catalog the books, and then I'm going to put them back. Am I going to finish this today? Probably not, because you know what? It's already 5 o'clock. What a time to be starting this project. And I don't really know what we're going to get through today, but I'm going to start with the romance shelf, which is this one right here. And we'll just work our way across. And then I have some shelves that are downstairs and the ones in the office as well. So let's just get started and we'll see how it goes. Yeah? Okay. Come on. And like, did I work out a system for this? No, absolutely not. I have no idea what I'm doing. I really want the TBR jar to come back, but I'm looking at my reading projects that are coming up in the year, and I don't know if I really have space for the TBR jar. I gotta figure out how to work that in. It's not gonna focus on this because the camera is trained to focus on person, but this is a little tumbler cup that says finish your TBR. That's the funniest sticker I've ever found stuck on a shelf somewhere. It's funny that it's stuck on a shelf. Who needs to finish their TBR? It's me. Okay, I think what I usually do is I just kind of dust behind And then we're going to clean it. Smut. Okay, all these little things that are on my bookshelf, I have these teeny tiny little pigs. I didn't realize there were this many things on the bookshelf. Okay, girl. Listen. I feel like last time I did this, I took a picture of what the bookshelves look like before I took them apart so that I could put them back together exactly the same way. Is that neurotic? Would anybody else do that? Or is that just me? You know what I want to know? I want to know, how often do you clean your bookshelves? Curiosity. Okay, it is time for me to put some of these books back. But what I'm going to do, I have my iPad here, is I have a list for Herkyet. I have all the prompts kind of like in a chart. As I find a book that is title-based that will work for something in Herkyet, I'm putting it into this. So this is going to be a slow process. You can see I've got the whole shelf empty. Got to put all these books back up here. And I did find books that I totally forgot that I owned. Probably the biggest shame that you'll see out of all of this is the number of series that I own that I've just not read. These are beautiful. Aren't these beautiful? I got to read these. I did stop myself from getting the entire series from Chloe Walsh. I got the first two. Honestly, let's be real. Barnes & Noble stopped me because I like these pastel rainbowy ones and they haven't come out with the next ones. These are the books that I totally forgot that I own. It's the Summer I Turned Pretty series. So a random stranger gave these to me, which was super nice of her. The problem is that I don't remember that I own them ever. It kind of feels like the smarter thing to do would have been to just do the bottom shelf, which I mean would have been. I'm down here still. I just got down here on the floor, but since I'm down here on the floor, it feels like I should just do the bottom shelf because these old knees, honey, I can't be getting up and down all the time. I'm just taking each of these books, putting them into my tracker, and then putting them back on the shelf once they're cleaned off. But let's start cataloging these in, shall we? Okay, since I was sitting on the floor and my knees are old, I decided that I would just do the bottom 3 rows of, can you see this one, and this one while I was down here. So I'm done for the day with this task. But tomorrow I'm going to do the top 3 rows of those 3, or whatever day I come back to this. I mean, because it's a lot. It's a long process, taking all the books off the shelf, cataloging all the books, cleaning all the books, cleaning the shelves, putting the books back on the shelf. It's a lot to do, okay? So she's taking it slow. But after I finish those 3, I will have one more, the one that's like kind of split. I'll need to get all the books that are on my 26 and 26 cart, and then I'll need to put into the tracker all the books that I read so far this year, just because the tracker is supposed to be a collection of all the books that I own in the house. And so far, we're pushing 500. And I do not think, well, I guess that's about half of my books. All right, I'll check back in when I pick this task up again. Learned that this is not fiction. This is thriller mystery. However, I don't have room for it up there, so it's going to stay in its place. This is a romance. We're going to slide that in over here. It was misshelved, we'll say. Which means we now have room for one more book. We're going to put in The Girls at 17 Swan Street. Where does this go? There we go. the situation has escalated since we last spoke to each other. So I was in the middle of cleaning off the shelves, and then I had to stop and film a different video, which required me to basically go through every single one of my shelves and pull out books. Listen, it's crazy talk. So it's not just in here. It is also in my office. I now have to put all of these books back on the shelves where they belong. I took photos of what the shelves look like so that I would know where to put them back at without this being too much of a thought exercise. I don't even know, yo. I don't even know. I've made a mess. So what I'm going to do is I'm about to put on my audiobook. I'm currently both reading physically and listening to on audio Isles of the Emberdark. I've got both versions of this book out from the library right now. I have not made it very far. I'm using a random bookmark. My life is in chaos, but I'm about to put the audiobook on and listen to that while I reshelve all these books. Current count is at 545 books. I still have this shelf right here, everything that's up above, and then all the books that are in my office that have been read before, plus downstairs, which I don't know that I'm going to take you guys downstairs, but if you watch my Friday Night Lit videos, the shelf, the bookcase that's like right next to me in my chair where I sit, that has my husband's unread books on it. So those need to still be counted in. I don't know. I really thought that there was maybe closer to 1,000 books here. But now I'm starting to think like maybe we're not there yet, which I mean, that's good and bad because I don't really need that many books, but also it'd be kind of cool to be like, well, I mean, yeah, I have a lot of books, but I have a library. Do you? So there's a little bit of flex there. I'm not going to go out and intentionally be like, let me go buy the last 130 books or whatever in order to have a library. But if I'm already there, and that's super cool. So we'll see. Okay, so it's about to be storming. So let me get started before we lose power or whatever, because that is looking pretty serious outside the window. And we don't lose power here often, but like that's always a fear of mine. So yeah, let's put these books back together. Let's put the audiobook on. I will be back when I have an updated count for you, I think, maybe, hopefully, possibly. But just, enjoy the footage and some hopefully banging music. I don't know about y'all. I kind of get a kick out of every now and then, not all the time, but every now and then, just having a video that I can kind of put on in the background and vibe to. Like the music, the playlist is good, and I can just vibe to it and like not really pay too close of attention to it. I'm not suggesting you don't pay attention to my videos. I'm just saying that I like those kinds of videos from time to time. So from time to time, I like to provide those kinds of videos. So anyway, that's what's going on here. Let me clean these dang books up.
The group of generals, chiefs, kingmakers, officials, and senators. It's been several hours and I have now finished counting and putting away all of the books that are in here. So I'm going to have to stop for the night. This is taking so much longer than I thought it was going to. And I swear it doesn't usually take me this long to clean the books. I have regrets of not getting glass doors in front of the bookcases because then I wouldn't need to dust. I would just put little like silica packets back there and call it a day. So the count so far, we're now at 697 books. That is both less than and more than where I expected it to be. So I was expecting it in general to be a lot higher than that by the time I finish the books in here. However, knowing what number I was at going into what I counted today, I was expecting it to be less than that. So who even knows? Like, I guess I don't really have a good concept of like, what would you call that? Like numbers of things. Like I could look at a pile of something and be like, there's 10 there. And there's literally like 100. Or I could look at the pile and be like, oh, that's clearly 150. And then it turns out that it's only like 40. I don't have a good concept of how many books there are left to count in this house. Anyway, that's the end for me for today because it is nearly 8 o'clock and I have to go get ready, do all the things, get ready because there's work tomorrow. I don't want to talk about it. Okay, my friends, we are in the office. We are in the final frontier. Well, mostly. There's still the books that are in the guest bedroom, but they're just, it's nonsense, whatever. Maybe I will insert a short clip of that, but we're basically at the final frontier and we are in the office and we've got all these books that I have already read. Hold on, let me operate like a responsible YouTuber and put the microphone down. Why am I holding it in my hand? I have no idea. So let me see if I can show you. We have all these books right here on the bookshelf. These are all read books. Now, not the ones at the top. Those need to be shelved, but there's no shelf to put them on currently. But all the ones that are inside the bookcase here are read books. And I don't know if you can see them. Maybe you can't. But all the books on the floor also need to be shelved. We are getting close. We're at the point where it could go either way. Like it's either a library or it's not a library, but it's only barely not a library. We're at that point right now. So I just need to see if we're going to make it. And if we're not, like, what do I do about it? Like, you guys, what do I do if I'm like, like 980 books? What do I do? I mean, the temptation to go out and buy 20 books to like complete the 1,000 is so high, but that's also absurd. But it would just be like the crowning achievement. But what do I do? Anyway, we're very close. At some point in the process, this video started to feel like it was pointless, but I need to count these books anyway. And the way my life is set up, I'm about to go to a conference like in 2 days, and this video has to be done before I go. So I don't have time to record a different video and I don't want to leave you guys without a video. Sometimes the content is top tier and sometimes the content is like we're hanging out and getting my life together. You just never know where you're going to end up for the day. Now, what do I do I have multiple copies of some books. Do I catalog those both? Or what do I do with those? Does anyone have an opinion on that? So I own 3 copies of Kennedy Ryan's Score. Honestly, y'all, I feel like I should give away one of those copies. Like, should I just do a giveaway? One of them I just accidentally got because I was supposed to go to her book signing and for reasons I didn't go. But girl, I paid for that book, so I went and picked up the book later. And then the 2 of them I do need because they're different copies and I bought both of them intentionally. And I can't give away my audiobook, so maybe I should just give it away. Maybe I should just do that. Is that a thing allowed? Can I do that? Okay, we are getting down to the finish line here. I am very close. There are like 915 books on here right now. I've got to do this bookcase, which are all my husband's books. I have a stack of books right here. And then I have everything that's in the guest bedroom. If we make it to 1,000 before I get to the guest bedroom, I'm probably not going to count the guest bedroom because this video has drug on long enough. And I'm just like, ugh. Okay, so let me finish counting these. I'm going to run upstairs and count those. And then we're going to circle in and we're going to figure out what the grand total is. And I'm going to fix my bangs. No, I'm not. They got wind blown. Like, it's like crazy windy outside right now. And I went outside and it was like, and now they're like stuck like that. Whatever. You guys, bad news. I have finished the count. There are 993 books in my house. Listen, what I'm about to do is the absolute peak of consumerism. I am admitting that right here, right now, so that you guys can't talk behind my back about me. Trust me, I'm not going to go out and intentionally be like, let me go buy the last 130 books or whatever. Yes, this is overconsumption, but we're about to go get 7 more books. And you can probably tell I'm already at the bookstore. Enjoy the vibes. That's all I can say. I came here with the intent of finding books that would help me with her kid. Now, I tried to do that. I do have one, but mostly what I found are books that complete series that I already have on my shelf. But I'm only supposed to be getting 7 books. And Mr. Sabrina Reads and Roams already picked up 1 book. So there's 1. No, I only get to get 6. This one I really want to read. I really want to read this series, and I have book 2, unfortunately. So I do feel like I'm going to get that one because it will complete, or it'll let me start the series that I already own. This one, this little short guy, will specifically help me with her kid. So that's what I was supposed to be picking up. Now the rest of these, this one actually is by a Black author, and it has an interracial couple. And I'm like, I think I want that one because, you know, whatever. Now, these 4, I can only get 3. And these all complete series that I want, that I already have. I already have the start of the series. I'm like, which one am I not really feeling? These are one series together. This I like absolutely want. So I think I'm gonna do these 2. And then I just need to decide between these 2. Or should I not get these and then just get these 2 and get those another time because I know that I really, really want them. I don't know what to do. He said he'll put his book back, but that's unnecessary. Okay, I'm done. I'm like all done. Let me just show you what I got at the bookstore. I was going to film it there, but I have a new camera and I don't really know the strength of its battery life at this point. So it died. It died after the last clip that I just showed you. So let me just show you what we picked up, and I'm going to give you the grand total. Okay, first, my husband got Children of Time by Adrian Tchaikovsky. I picked up American Royalty by Tracy Livesay. This one is a pure, just like I wanted it because on the cover there's a Black woman and a white man. Don't come for me. I love if it looks like that, I'm going to pick it up, okay? And then I picked up Exit 8, which will help me with the hardest reading challenge you'll ever do because I don't have a book for number 8. And this one was suggested. I had a couple that were suggested to me by a couple different people. This one I happened to see without looking for it. It was just like out there on display at Barnes, and it's very short. I love that in a reading challenge where I have to read up to 150 books. And I originally was like, I'm going to go find books that will help me with her kid. I abandoned my morals the moment I walked in that store, but whatever. So that's that one. Then I got a number of books that are going to complete or help me finish or get through series that I already own. I'm explaining that poorly. Let me just show you. So I got 16 Ways to Defend a Walled City because I don't know where I was I remember I was at an outlet bookstore and I picked up How to Rule an Empire and Get Away with It. And I had no idea that was book 2. It gives zero indication that is book 2 in a series. So I got that because it looked really good. And I have genuinely never seen book 1 anywhere in the wild. And then today it was just there in my face. So I was like, well, I've never seen that before. So I picked it up. That makes 4. And then for number 5, I picked up Ancillary Sword by Anne Leckie. I already have book 1, Ancillary Justice. And so there's that. I also got Ancillary Mercy, which is book 3 in the Imperial. I don't know how you say that. Is it Reach? Radich? Rack? I don't know. Anyway, in that series. So now I have the complete series of this. And then there are all the other books that kind of like orbit around it. But like I have the main series. So that makes 6 books. Remember, I had to get 7 in order to get to a library. I'm sure you guys already know that your girl made it to a library because I could not decide between 2 different books that would get me through another 2 different series. And y'all know how my husband is. He's like, are you sure you're counting right? What if you counted wrong? Okay. And you get home and you're at 999. So he was like, you need to get the extra one for insurance. I mean, I'm not going to argue with you at the bookstore, my guy, my king. I can't argue with you in public. So I did. I got The Nightshade God by Hannah Witten, and that will complete the Nightshade Crown series for me.
need to start reading that series. And then I got City of Souls and Sinners by Kayla Edwards. This is book 2 in the House of Devils. Have not read book 1 yet, but like I am so, well, that's not true. I started reading it on Kindle Unlimited like a year ago, and I had to put it down for reasons that are, I don't even remember at this point, but I am excited to get back into it. But now I have the physical books, well, books 1 and 2. So with that, we officially have a library. And let me tell you guys something. I did miscount. So I pulled a rookie mistake and I forgot to subtract out the header in my spreadsheet when I was getting the counts of the books. Yeah, no, that's stupid. So that would have put me 1 under had he not told me to get the insurance book. I was doing some math when I got home and I was like, oh, shit, I really did miscount. He was being funny about the insurance, but like, nope, he was right. However, as we were checking out, guess what I saw? Guess what I saw? This wasn't in the plans, but guess what I saw? You ready? Y'all ain't ready for this. The paperback of The Emperor of Gladness. If you've been to my channel before, you will know that I recently read this as a library book. I boohooed all over the place. Like, I cannot stop crying. Anytime I talk about this book in depth, I cry. So this is a huge contender for book of the year. And when I looked it up, because I was like, oh, I'm going to go ahead and buy it because if it makes me cry, it deserves a place on my shelf. I looked it up and it said that the paperback was coming out soon. And in my memory, I thought that the paperback was coming out in September, but it was on the shelf today. So I got it. I come home with it. I got this. It's in the bag. It's ready for its place of glory on my shelf. So I actually now have 1,001 books in my house. This is a library. The Stricklands have a library, you guys. And I know how silly this is, and I know how ridiculous it is that I went out and bought those books to add them so that I could have a library, essentially so that I could finish this video. I know that is privilege. I know it is ridiculous, and I know it is absurd, but a girl deserves to have a little fun, right? I'm just a girl. That being said, I do super need to cool it, okay? Like, I need to cool it. That's all I can say about that is I need to cool it. So there are 1,001 books in my house. Of those 1,001, 99 of them belong to my husband. To be fair, there are, I think, did I count 23 that are children's books that are here for when my nieces and now my nephew come over and stay and need something to read for bedtime. So those aren't exactly mine per se, but like, let's just be real. My husband owns 10% of the books in this house and there are 1,001 books in here. He has 99 and I was like, I think we should go back to the store and get you one more book so you have 100. And he's like, I literally do not care about that. And I was like, you need to care about it. It's what makes you a serious person about reading. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. And it's itching me that he has 99 books. So it's going to be fine. It is going to be fine. Anyway, I have been filming this video for weeks at this point. There are about like 1,000 clips of me like cleaning and organizing and counting and collecting and everything. So I hope that this was a great video. But real talk, like, thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for indulging me in this moment of absurdity. And I appreciate you all so much for being here with me. And now to get to Herkyed 3, in which I need to read a bulk of my books, like the majority, if not all of my books for Herkyed from these shelves, because it's not like I don't have books. It might force me to abandon rolling the dice in Herkyed because I don't know if I have a book that will fit every single thing if I add on the like modifier with the dice roll. We'll see. I'm going to roll the dice and I'm going to try to see if I can get there. But if I can't, I can't. It's going to be fine. So since you made it this far, let me know if you want to borrow a book. I even have library checkout slips. If you want to come over and borrow a book, let your girl know. I'll pencil you in. It is a private library collection, so you do have to make an appointment to come by, but I will allow you to come by and borrow a book. But you had better give it back, or I will track you down. I will hunt you down, and I will make you feel feelings if you do not give my book back. Beyond that, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't done that already, and then I will see you all in the very next video.